The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 22. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of courageous women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Want to learn how you can change your inner beliefs and attitudes? Download a free copy of the ebook by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today's episode I have a special friend who is here to share her story about her inner journey to self-confidence. Now, she is currently in Bali. You know, roosters going cock-a-doodle-doo and birds chirping. It's because she's like in the middle of the beach somewhere, and she's just enjoying life. You know, she is a freedompreneur, a lifestylepreneur. She teaches, people around the world how to build a business and have a life at the same time. So I'd like to introduce you to my friend Regina, who's currently in Bali. She's actually from New Zealand, but really I think she's more from California and decided to move to New Zealand. So Regina, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in the blanks on some of the other stuff that I missed.
Hey Sheena, how's it going? Yeah, we're here in Bali. My husband and I are here for a couple of months. And it's funny that you're like, she's from here. No, she's from here, because people usually ask me, where are you from? And all I really want to say is I'm from Earth, because I've been to so many places. But I'm originally from California, lived in San Francisco for seven or 8 years, and I moved to New Zealand for about 5 years before traveling full time.
Nice. And I just want to know, what is your cultural background?
So I am Filipino. My mom was born and raised in the Philippines, and my dad was he's American-born, Filipino-Mexican.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So I just have some questions for you. The first one would be, what is your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite self-confidence quote is, when you have confidence, you can have a lot of fun. And when you have fun, you can do amazing things.
Thanks for sharing that. That is I like that quote a lot. And listeners, if you hear a little cat meowing, it's because there's cats in there as well. So it's great to hear the background, and at least we can feel like we know what it feels like to be in Bali. We can have the Bali experience from this episode. So thank you first, Regina, for having this Bali experience in today's episode.
There's all kinds of noises over here, for sure. We got a couple of rescue cats from Ubu this weekend here living with us. So
in your own words, what would be your definition of self-confidence?
My definition of self-confidence is knowing that no matter what you go through, everything's going to turn out okay, and really having some sort of visualization in your head that everything will be okay. Because sometimes in life you always have your ups and downs, and sometimes you feel bad about something or you feel good about something, but that's just kind of the journey that you have to go through to get to the end and to learn the different lessons of life.
Thanks. I love that definition. So, Regina, before you were able to travel the world and do all these amazing things, what was your life like before the discovery of self-confidence?
Oh, man. I mean, I have to say, growing up, I did grow up with a lot of low self-esteem, and I lacked a lot of confidence when I was younger. And I think a lot of it was, I had a lot of anxiety, and a lot of it, I had all of these thoughts in my head thinking that I had to be a certain way. I set myself expectations that I didn't think were necessary. Looking back now, weren't something to please my parents or to please, my teachers or the people around me. So I think I had a lot of anxiety, and I just remember that, especially in, my late teens and my early 20s, just going through depression and not being able to understand, why I had to do certain things. For example, like going to school, going to university, like I knew that I had to do it, and I'm really glad that I did. But in a way, there was a point where I was like, I don't actually have to go to university, because I feel like I can grow in ways that I never thought I could without going. But at that point in time, I didn't really follow through with what I was thinking. I was just thinking, okay, well, my parents really want me to finish school, so I'm going to have to do it because it's what you're supposed to do. So I think, a lot of anxiety and a bit of, depression, and kind of an interesting moment. It's a good question.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's not easy, right, when we have to do things that we're told to do. I mean, we just do them because we didn't know any better at the time. and maybe our parents back then didn't know any better at the time as well. So we're just pretty much going from generation to generation, not knowing that these traditions actually have consequences. Like what you said, you were facing anxiety, you're facing depression, and I'm sure lots of women out there feel the same way, and they're not even aware of the things that happen within themselves. And maybe after listening to this episode, they realize, oh my God, I went through the same thing. That's the reason why I feel stuck, or I feel like something is missing in my life. So I'm glad you shared that part of your story. So what was like your aha moment that you had, realizing that, you were capable of doing the things that you wanted to do, and, you just had that belief in yourself that anything you believe in, you can achieve it?
I think that's a really interesting question, Sheena. And I think before my real aha moment, there were small moments where I knew that I could do what I really wanted to do, but I was too scared to do it. And I think my biggest aha moment was really when I started working online. Going from the employee to the business owner mindset is such a huge change. And really, when I started listening to self-development audio and reading books was when I realized, well, I actually do have it in me, but I really started to believe it. And so when I started having that belief that I could actually do it, then that's when my life started to change. You're constantly growing too, because when you get to the point where you're like, okay, I believe it, it's almost like you have to practice new habits and break old habits of thoughts so that you can, move forward and really live a new life.
Yeah, I believe self-development is something that you have to do daily, right? Almost daily if you have to find the time to get it done, because, we've been programmed to do so many things in our life that have been hindering us from our success, from our true voice, that we have to reprogram everything, kind of like your computer, right? If it has a virus, you have to go and reformat everything, make sure everything's still intact, and you have to think of your mind that way. Whatever you put in really affects how you think, really affects how you believe in yourself. So I'm really glad that you pointed that out. And, what's your life like now after that discovery that, going through the mindset changes, going from employee to employer mindset? Like, what's your life like right now? And we know right now you're in Bali, but how's it been ever since?
I feel really good. And one thing about growing and wanting to be in a certain place is you need to finding the people that you want to be like and being around them to kind of grow with them is one of the most important things. And I think just surrounding yourself with the life of people who, have similar goals really helps as well, helps you grow. Because if you have a bunch of friends from high school that you're still hanging around with and you don't necessarily agree with the things that they do or the things that they say, if you keep hanging around them, you're not necessarily going to grow. So just finding a new environment where you can grow into your new self really does actually help you. So, it's like I definitely feel a lot more relaxed, and I think that I don't go through depression anymore. That was the thing of the 2000s. No, but it's good. It feels really good.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And, to the woman who's listening to your story, listening to this episode, she's in her own journey to finding her self-confidence. What's the one tip you would give to that listener?
Any of you who are listening right now is just really believe in yourself. And even if you don't feel it inside, there's one exercise that I did with one of my friends when I was still working my day job. And we used to send each other photos. We Googled photos and we looked on Pinterest of the lifestyle that we wanted to live every single day, multiple times a day. And I think that really helped instill a belief in me that not only that I could live the freedompreneur lifestyle that we're living now, but it really made me feel good looking at these photos. And even just looking at little cat photos when you're feeling down, it's kind of finding ways to make yourself feel really good. Listening to music that makes you feel good and just putting you into a good mindset. Can you hear the little kitties? Sorry about that.
That's okay. Like I said, we're having the Bali experience. So anyone listening to this episode, just hearing these sounds, you got to be in the moment, especially if you've ever wanted to go to Bali like I do. It's just like visualization. You got to kind of close your eyes and feel every sound you hear, the chickens cockadoodling, the cat meowing, the birds chirping. I mean, it's all about, visualizing yourself in that moment. So I think it's great that you have these little, we can hear the little background noises, like the little cat purring. It's different, right? That things happen. I mean, you're in Bali. It's a different setting. But
yeah, for sure.
Regina, if we wanted to contact you or get to know a little bit more about you, is there any websites that you have or any contact info that you want to share?
Hey, Sheena. So the best way to contact me is on Facebook. So you can contact me on Facebook at facebook.com/Regina VDV and just send me a private message. Also, you can find more information on us on our website at courageouslyfree.com.
Sweet. Thanks for sharing that. And to all the listeners, you can always head over to the Tao of Self-Confidence, search for Regina's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just really want to thank Regina for taking the time, to share her story out, especially in Bali, where, she's still having the time of her life, but yet she's still able to build, a business that's successful. So thanks again, Regina. I know you guys still have lots of fun times to catch up in Bali before you head out to the States. And, I'd love to have you back again for another episode if you're up to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sheena. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And, I just thank you for taking the time to listen, and we'll catch you later. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Subscribe to the Tao of Self-Confidence on iTunes or Stitcher to hear more stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence.